these ones have like they have a lot. They're chock full of personality in the cutscenes because they have moving sprites all over the time. They're doing things. It's not just just people talking on the map.
Continent of Campbell.
Continent of soup.
Soupland.
Yep. The soup home.
The Isle of Broth.
The stockhouse. We're really fond of our meat juice. That's the slogan of Campbell. Palpalios.
Peleos and Sazza.
Some really good names. Sowser's sprite looks really ridiculous from the sides.
Yeah, he's just extremely starched color.
Mm-hmm.
Another point that will give the writing here, that it really wants you to know about the motivations of your antagonists. Not really. It's not a story about good guys and bad guys. It's just about opposing forces. Like, you could take a lot of the scenes that Sazzer has, and if you put them into a different context, he would be the hero of his own story.
This is actually reflected. We won't see it for a while, but Palpalios and View are the same class. They have the same functions. They are
Cross Knights.
They're created to be opposites of one another. Is the idea?
Yeah, part of the overall dramatic structure is, again, that it's plot, then fight, then plot, but you generally have, both before and after a fight, your chance to wander around and interact with all your buddies. Including a chance to scour the ship for things. Friends and Reeve. We have received Gonzo's funk.
Mm-hmm. The stank item. There's actually a very important use for that, but it's not important until very far in.
Very well. I shall lift this small one. And you go. This is one of the two crew quarters sections. Most of your miscellaneous folk will hang around in here during the intermissions. One of them is the men's, the other is the ladies'. They both have a bar.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think the men's quarters is the one on the left.
I believe so, yeah.
And the royal quarters for if and when we were to retrieve some sort of princess and incorporate her in.
You can also talk to the guy in here, and he will buy, and you can buy things from him. He sells books.
He sells books.
Yep. Books. The Genius Notebooks are actually pretty good. They are good dragon food.
Yeah, as with other items, these have a combat use, but mostly they're dragon food. Dragons will eat books. Dragons will eat anything.
Thing that they the books generally increase wisdom. Dragon with high wisdom will use its stronger spells, and it'll use spells that the enemy is weak to. So it will stop being as dumb in a fight.
Ah, the shopkeeps are now available. Healing items, of course, are also applicable dragon food. They usually just improve things like raw HP and MP. The salesfolk will usually not carry things that are upgrades to what you have. They're more about getting piles of craft to feed into your dragons.
Mm-hmm. These are mostly side grades.
Yeah. Like
every
every weapon type has, elemental variants and so forth.
It will eventually start to sell those weapons with elemental variants, but generally speaking, they will sell them after you've already been getting them as drops.
And this is, well, now that you've got a couple of fights under your belt, this is the tutorial segment where you can go around and be told trivia about how the game works.
The Dragon Keeper stuff doesn't happen until after you do Mad Light silly shit.
Yep, first we have to go have our meeting. And this is a prompt you have for, again, this is the tutorial segment, so...
This
If you already know what's going on, you can skip most of the speech, as there are explanatory elements to the speech.
I actually think they're the same, is the thing. But if you do the quick version, he runs around at top speed. Because he's being silly.
Maybe. One or the other.
The idea is actually to show Mad Light is long-winded and kind of talking out of his ass most of the time.
He just leans uncomfortably close to Bu every time he mentions someone not getting it. Someone needing further instruction. Coincidentally, whenever he needs to speak of asserting authority. In case anyone isn't clear on the pecking order, Bu. His armor shines with his fighting spirit. You there, man who actually knows how to drive this boat, you will work the controls. I, Madalite, have deemed it so. Hornet knows who the real protagonist is. I am captain. I will be captain.
Captain is captain. Quick bit of Simon Says foot drill. You can't actually ever succeed that, obviously.
Yes.
You cannot spin in circle. Spin in place.
Madalite has an axe to grind with us. Axe, hammer, spear, most killing tools. You would grind one in our direction.
And it's really hard to grind a hammer when you get down to it. There's nothing really to grind off. It's just a bludgeon.
Yes, we know about formations. He would share with us the sort of things that we explained earlier about passive benefits, depending on which folks you put into which teams and so forth.
The Dragon Keeper, who's basically a wild man.
Yep.
It's great. talk to Frederica before you leave.
Yes, and that is the other note of Madelite's characterization. He is hard on Bew, but it's also partly out of respect. Inside, he acknowledges that Bew is a fine, upstanding knight, and
The collapsed lady up there, is what I mean.
he just wants to make sure that we earn whatever success we gain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna take your meds, Fred. Come on. Yeah, you just nap it out.
If you take it, though, she gives you 5 drugs, 5 heals, and 5 revives. Because she
carries
needs that
extensive
much.
medication.
She needs that much to be able to go to sleep.
Frederica, not of the most sound body.
Nope.
Captain. His parents named him Captain.
Yes. He's captain.
Yeah, Sendek, a little embarrassed about being old and indecisive and not much of a leader, just a powerful wizard. So we will just kind of quietly backroom delegate all them leadership tasks.
Well, he does all the paperwork, it looks like.
Yeah, you'll do the paperwork and give the speeches. We will be the captain behind the captain. Yes, easily mistaken for a lady. Sendek has a very feminine shape and presentation to him, but that's a guy. Not even like some sort of surprise, oh what, he was a lady the whole time, twist thing? No, that's just a feminine man. Just a
He is, in
slim
fact,
man.
and he's also, in fact, canonically gay. This is a very rare thing to happen in the SNES game, era.
A handsome wizard.
Yep. Very handsome, effeminate wizard. Especially for an old man character, that is extremely rare, even today.
So many rare character traits.
It's just
for
a
an
very...
JRPG of the 90s.
It's just a very... It's a weird genre-busting game when you get down to it. It has all these aspects to it that it probably doesn't need or anything. But it has them. And we also get a new pal in this one, I think.
Dragons are basically magic cats.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Do not startle the dragons. Yep, explaining synergy between dragons and the team they work with. Just a quick present from the Dragon Keeper. Yet another dragon.
Ah, Neck Horse, how are you doing today?
Neck Horse, my friend.
My cousin, my brother.
I think it's an 8-character limit.
So it'd be RSE,
Yes.
right?
Neck Horse. Or I could go with NCK Horse.
I like Nickers more
Neck
than
Horse.
Nick Horse. Yeah, I like it as is. Neck Horse has my favorite transformations, personally. Well, second favorite, sorry.
Neck Horse, the mini Hydra.
Yeah, Neck Horse
off
starts
as
out full fire,
Fire, ice, and a tiny bit of poison.
Hold on, Neck Horse is really good with either life or poison, and because he just gets really handsome.
Well, we'll give you a little token feed grass for now.
Life and either life or poisoned, and either strength or vitality. That's how he thrives visually. So what he was talking about with feeding one too much and then not the others, that's raising or lowering a dragon's intimacy. Intimacy kind of determines whether or not a dragon will stay away from a character when it's when you're fighting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A high intimacy will make it so the dragon wants to stick to you almost at all times.
But when
Low
intimacy will
intimacy-
cause them to wander off more and play the field.
So having, a mix of both will make it be a little bit smarter than doing either. There's also actually a hidden stat in the game. It's called personality. The more you feed a dragon weapons, the more likely it is to actually just do melee attacks. And the more you feed it armor, it's more likely... Well, it's not melee attacks, sorry. It is more likely to enter the fight mode with an enemy.
Than it is
If
to
you-
do artillery strikes.
Yeah, if you feed him more armor, then it'll do more artillery strike stuff. I think rapiers are inherently lightning a little bit. Remember right?
Let's give it a shot. Nope, just pure stats.
Alright, my bad.
A little bit of dexterity in there.
That makes sense.
Here, eat another axe.
Ooh, we have a burning axe.
Dave, stop eating my books. Actually, Dave, I'm gonna feed you a book. Have a nice book.
Excellent.
Some math. Dave is most wise. Yeah, our supplies of food are a little low right now.
Dave.
We
Like,
will get access to a shopkeeper who will sell grass.
fire or thunder. Both nice for Dave.
Yeah, I think it's just that eventually the regular item shop here will stock basic grasses.
Even if it doesn't, you eventually get the ability to just buy elemental, equipment, and that
Yes.
is it'll boost even better than grasses does and everything.
A lot of flexibility opens up once you get yourself clear of tutorial zone.
Right. On the green, can't get words. The green, place of soup.
Yes. Our next objective: retrieve princess. Annoyingly, your save points are only available at the between chapter markers, naturally.
So, like we talked about earlier, you pretty much want to immediately put a tank with Mad Light.
Bunch of men on a hill. The scale of the maps varies drastically between fights.
Yes.
Like, this is kind of a Fire Emblem-y, but like even in Fire Emblem things vary. But yeah, there's like personal scale, kind of very clearly. This is just supposed to be a small forest grove.
This is more like a
other
Final
maps
Fantasy
where you'll be standing as large as a city.
This is more of a Final Fantasy Tactics scale map as opposed to a Fire Emblem scale, like, large map. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now we're allowed to edit formations. For the most part, I like the starting units as they are. We now have the Lancers alongside a pair of Priests. Yep. Added to the team. They start off as the default partner of Neck Horse.
Neck Horse is probably best off with the Wizards because of, the two elements going on there. Or with Kirby with them, too.
It's Kirby with the Lancers or Dave with the Lancers.
Yeah, I think so. Dave with the Lancers sounds right.
Dave and the Lancers. This screen also very convenient for reviewing what all of your traits are. You see down at the bottom there, every 10 points of a stat converts to 1 point over year, which is the relevant number that gets passed over to the other team. So right now, Andrew is worth 2 fire, no anything else. Hank is worth a strength and a lightning. Kirby is worth 1 ice, and so forth.
Yeah, in order they are strength, vitality, dexterity, I think, intelligence, I believe, fire, water, or ice, lightning, earth, which is kind of unique, life, and poison.
Yeah,
there are also 2 more that
based
aren't
on a combination of your water, lightning, and fire.
There are also 2 more which aren't listed here, but that's just going to be your earth combined with your either life or poison. Those are holy and dark, respectively.
Yeah, your holy and dark status. Those are for achieving the ultimate dragon forms on the various paths. Every 10 points for element, every 25 for the other stats.
Yeah.
Alright, all that grass over there, that's flammable.
Mm-hmm.
We're poor! We need money!
Captain, no.
Alright, so, new team, the Lancers. Javelin attacks are extremely cost-effective, but fairly short range.
They also
no
only
splash
target a
damage.
single... Yeah, no splash damage on them. Drug dust, nice. And, I apologize, but I'm actually going to hop out here because I've been kind of juggling between 2.
Well, fairly well.
Later.
Well, this may accomplish something. Very good. Mediocre damage. Yeah, a good barrage of magma attacks will very quickly add up. Dragons serve only their hunger. They know that after slaying our enemies, they've received food. Okay, good. I can get the shot in edgewise. I don't want to ignite the grass yet, because fire does not know friend from foe. And there just aren't a whole lot of enemies in the grassland right now. Alright, never mind. The decision is made for me. That fire will gradually spread around, and sections that are on fire burn out after a turn or so. Fights have a pretty decent pace to them in this as well. Alright, yeah, this is definitely a good opportunity. No regrets about pairing Dave up with these guys. Now, the Lancers have a life element attack on them. That'll give me a good way to get my foot in the door as far as the magics go. Lance attacks get plenty of mileage. Reasonably sure you can also douse active fire with an ice attack. Perhaps not. Those would depend on whether those little fringes there count as active or not. Or Manolite. Any map where you're on the offensive, the heavies, they struggle to get their hits in. At least Hank will fight on their behalf. Good. Soften up those wizards. Finish the job. Powerful man, the Warbuster. Gotta bust him before he busts you. Okay, yes, there's still some residual graphic there, but that side of the flame has not moved at all. It's dead. The other set of flame is growing healthily. Well, we hit one. A refreshing burst of Dave. At least you still get the experience for a failed dance. Failure rate on mini devils might get better as you level them up. Run them out of mana. Common occurrence. Sword techs are fairly expensive, and he doesn't carry a lot of juice. There are recovery items for that, but I'm fine with delaying it. We're not under any time constraint. And there isn't like a ranking system that would reward us for clearing the map particularly quickly. Yeah, that's where you'd go to employ any consumables you wanted to use. So close. Love the enemy wizard casting animation. Just that quick little snap of the hand. Alright, half your team is asleep. That's probably a reason to avoid close combat. Devils, go. Carry this. Give them the dance of your people. Lightning dance is called Mr. Gunfire. Oh, the Ice Magi actually absorb cold attacks. That's great.
Working.
There we go.
Discord, hello.
Discord.
Okay, yeah, so Skype hates me now. I don't know why. It worked fine the last time.
Good job, Kirby. That's something dragons can do sometimes when they get moody. They'll take an opportunity for a support attack and just not be up to it. Alright, we have gained the attention of the bossman. Right, good. Madeleine can reach inspiring range. You just need to clear a path. Another little thing I like, that the regular attacks off of your wizards are pretty much never hit man with stick. They just do, miscellaneous tiny wizard thing.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's like, they're defined by being magic. So actually give them a magic thing to do.
You know, small magic. Inexpensive magic.
Like, every time I see a game do that, I'm like, yeah, that's great. I know more games do this, and yet still don't.
Kirby, you came very close to making a bad decision. You pulled out, though. Do not deny me my chance to inspire.
Diamond armor.
And much is learned. After this whole first wave of missions, this time I'm actually getting a lot of neutral kills. We have physical attacks going on.
Neutral would seem to be the easiest element to get a kill with. Just is. Cost anything to be neutral.
You are roboting a little, but there's no telling if that's on you or on Discord
Or some
Or, like,
weird
between myself and
combination of
Discord.
both.
a lot of moving parts to consider.
Here's a question. Can you still hear me when Firefox is not my focus window?
Yes.
Okay. Probably wind up down version at some point, but
It is time to inflict morale.
Yeah, I saw Inspire, and I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of those things where get the rest of your team to do a basic attack or something? No, smash.
Madalite leads by example. See, he just gave you a wonderful example of what not to do. Such is the glorious leadership of he, Madalite. He led too well.
Well, you know, I don't think that's leading too well when you do something, say, don't do this, and then someone does it. That's poor listening comprehension.
So great was his leadership that they could not tell whether he was being earnest or engaging in some deep strategic trick. Surely, such a strategic genius as he, Madalite, would be engaging in such ruses to deceive the enemy.
To deceive the enemy, sure. To deceive his team?
All a clever feint. Finish the job, Dave. Almost. Good effort, Dave. I was worried about rushing down the boss this turn, but he's remarkably resilient.
He is a boss and has triple the HP of everything else. I mean, yeah, the dragon pile there is kind of scary, but...
Show him what you got next. Deck doesn't have much. Interesting. Picking to field attacks. Possibly. Out of recognition that he's, not really in any position to survive a regular attack.
The AI understands. Mostly. A little.
Alright, this will work against me. Nice, Kirby.
You did more damage than you healed.
Yeah, but the dancers will end up ahead. Fine, a waste of time. Much is learned. do want the appropriate element on the finishing blow, I'll just hold off on the regular chop.
Yeah, you don't need all of...
Get a nice halberd.
I guess the halberd is just the lightning element spear. It's a little odd. No, lightning has to do with an axe head, but whatever.
Levels for everyone. Alright, it's just walking forward to trigger in the next scene here. Call the Dragons is Call the Dragons! Creatures, we have food.